So This Is Love by 4 Curious Dad on AO3. Episode 28, Chapter 11. Plus Ultra went wrong. Another week passed by, and another week came. It was as peaceful as before, except the fact that Todoroki fainted during practice. Fortunately, Aizawa caught him from falling out of his ice pillar before he slammed on the floor. He stopped the training session and took unconscious Todoroki to the infirmary, where Sero rushed in half an hour later. He ignored Aizawa, raising his eyebrow of confusion as to why he was here, and walked towards Todoroki's bed. Why did he faint? What happened? Did Recovery Girl say? One question at a time. Firstly, why and how could you come here? Aizawa stopped his student from going feral. Oh, Shinso just called me, and, I am Todoroki's friend. I love him, and I miss him, so I ran here as fast as I could when I heard the news. So, no. Sero couldn't imagine confessing his feelings for Todoroki in front of his homeroom teacher. Yeah, right. Aizawa scanned him. Kid, I wasn't born yesterday, but hey, if you don't want to say it, it's okay. Aizawa stood up to give Sero the seat beside Todoroki's bed. Calm down. Nothing serious. Recovery girl has checked him. It was just exhaustion. He needs some sleep right now. That's good to hear. Thank you, Sensei. I'll be here until he wakes up. Sero took the seat, eyes glued to the bed, and missing Aizawa's sigh, and exiting the infirmary. Todoroki woke up with a fresh scent. Looking at the white ceiling, he was dazed for a while, not realizing where he was, until he felt something on his hand. He turned his head and saw a hand that was holding his, and his eyes met with Sero's. He felt his hand being squeezed when Sero saw Todoroki had woken up. Todoroki, how do you feel? Do you want to sleep some more? Sero whispered. I'm good. Why am I here? Why are you here? Todoroki was surprised. At the same time, he was delighted to see Sero. He had just realized how long they hadn't met, how he missed this, and this tenderness and cariness. You're in the UA infirmary. Aizawa-sensei brought you here. He said you were exhausted. That's why you fainted during practice. You see? This is exactly what I said about taking a break. Todoroki was startled. This was the first time Sero raised his voice at him with such a stern and hurtful expression. His voice was shaken and sounded harder than usual. Sero didn't reply. Instead, he just sat still, latching on to Todoroki's hand and glaring at him. His bottom lip was shivering. He wanted to yell more about how stupid Todoroki was. At once, he couldn't bring up any words without worrying he might hurt him. Todoroki didn't like this. There were many silent moments between them, but none were as comfortable as this. Sero, are you mad at me? Yes, he grunted. Why? I don't understand. Oh no, don't make my heart flutter. And get out with this puppy eyes and confusion expression. Focus, this is not the time. Because you made me worried. You work hard. Going plus ultra and stuff, yeah, I admit, it's admirable. But everything has its limits. You don't know how to take care of yourself. You're stubborn and selective as hell when you only choose what you want to hear and do without thinking about the consequences, without thinking about yourself, and without thinking of how worried I can be when you are hurt, get in trouble, or even faint like this. I'm sorry. Yes, you better be sorry. Sero finally calmed down a bit. Do you know what you did wrong? He didn't want the date accident to repeat. Yes, I'm sorry for making you angry. I will try not to worry you about it anymore. How? You don't have to hear about how I get injured ever again. See? This is why I said you are selective as hell and deadass wrong. No, Todoroki. The best thing you have to do now, after being sorry, is taking my advice. Have a responsible training and resting schedule. Ask for help whenever you need it, and tell me whenever you are in trouble and need me. Sero let out a sigh. Todoroki, do you want to tell me what happened? Is it okay if I tell you everything? Yes. We talk all the time. I don't see why stopping doing that just because we can't see each other as often as before. Well, I don't want to disturb you too much. Todoroki glanced at Sero once more to confirm that he had calmed down. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you mad. Will you forgive me? Todoroki, you... I don't want to make you feel sad or guilty or anything. I'm just mad because you were reckless without looking out for you. From now on, please just take into account your health more, okay? And think about how others who care for you would react if they knew you were in danger or pushing yourself too much. Your Nissan, your mom, your dad, and me. I care about you a lot. I'm sorry. Todoroki closed his eyes. And thank you for saying those words, for coming here, even though it's a weekend and you have nothing to do here. You are welcome. Now, will you tell me what happened, please? After a few minutes of debating with himself, Todoroki finally told Sero about how hard these weeks passed by. Endeavor did nothing but teach him how to control his quirk. Todoroki would follow his lesson obediently, to the extent of skipping sleep and eating to spend more time on training. He wasn't naive. He knew how important it was for a suitable schedule like Sero did. But he couldn't afford it because he was running out of time and patience. He had to make up for all the months he stopped practicing to get better. Beyond that, he needed to somehow get the same level as Sero and his classmates, and he couldn't tell this to Sero because, simply put, he didn't think it would be related and worth talking about. The same way, he didn't know how to tell or describe to Sero the fact that he missed meeting and talking with Sero like this, to see his reaction, hear his voice, and really feel like he was close by, like now. You are silly, Todoroki. You should have just brought it up anytime you want. Why did you talk about your trauma so easily, but yet something small like this is hard for you? I don't know. Todoroki pushed himself up to sit. Maybe for some reason, I like talking to you directly like this more than texting. It's easier for me. Me too. I miss you talking like this too. Time's up. Suddenly, a voice interrupted their conversation. Aizawa-sensei pushed aside the curtain to reveal Todoroki's bed. He didn't pay attention to Sero being scared because of his sudden show-up, simply turned to the boy on the bed. Todoroki, if you're feeling better, let's get you home. Right, sensei. Thank you so much for helping, recovery girl, and I'm sorry for disturbing you on your day off. No worry, my dearie. It's nothing. And remember to get some rest these days before going back into action. Youngsters like you easily negate your own health. The kind woman spoke up after sitting silently by the desk. I'm sorry. Yes, I will. Todoroki got out of bed. He slowly stood up, gripping on Sero's arm. I need my stuff. Sero has collected them for you. Don't worry. Just come with me. Aizawa got to Todoroki's other side, helping him stand. Since it wasn't serious, I haven't told your family yet. Do you want to call and tell them? It's okay, Sensei. I'm fine now. I don't want Nissan to worry. I meant your father. He didn't say it clearly, but he really is looking forward to any kind of report about your training here. No, I will tell him myself when I get home. Okay. How about you, Sero? What are you gonna do? Me? Well, if it's okay with you, I want to stay with Todoroki a bit more. And I have an idea. Why don't we eat something before sending you home? Todoroki liked that. Aizawa shrugged his shoulders to demonstrate he neither excited nor denied the opinion. However, the plan rolled just as Sero expected. They reunited with Shinso and went straight to the familiar soba place that Sero and Todoroki liked to hang out. They had a great meal there. Shinso loved it, and so did Aizawa. Todoroki was satisfied, when he could enjoy his favorite meal after long yearning soba, while Sero kept bringing side dishes for Todoroki and made sure he ate more than normal. Their meeting ended just as quickly as it started. After finishing the meal, Aizawa suggested they should call it a day. Sero said goodbye to Todoroki with a heartbroken expression. Meanwhile, Todoroki went back to his silent self, or even more twinkle than normal, nodding along all of Sero's reminders for rest. Both Todoroki and Sero didn't like it. They had just met after a long time, but Aizawa reminded them that it was time to go home. Sero really said, nah, we're not doing any of that miscommunication bullshit. What are you gonna do to fix it? Not tell me? That is not what I wanted. I love that. Normally that's what I do. Not what I do, but like if I have like a situation with like specifically my partners where I focus most, I need to start focusing on other aspects and other friendships and familiarships that I have. That way there's no miscommunication there. But I also do this with partners, right? If I find something that I do not like, I straight up tell them like, hey, I don't like this, and this. Sorry, I sneezed. This, and this. And like, what are we gonna do to fix it? Okay, what do you think we should? Okay, I don't think that's gonna work. Like, we sit down and we talk, we fix it and stuff. Obviously, this doesn't work with everybody. This is why some of my relationship has ended, because some of them simply don't want to sit and talk, simply don't want to communicate, or they simply don't want to change. They want me to change. In the sense of like, not even just like big stuff. Like, for example, I told, some examples of this would be, I told one of my partners, this is one of the long-term ones that shouldn't have been long-term, and I should have ended the relationship with them way fucking earlier, but I didn't because they were a horrible manipulator. Anyways, but I told him that I really didn't like when he would send hearts to this one friend in, what's it called? Not just like any, like, it would be like purple hearts, cute little hearts, telling that person like a bunch of pet names, and all this stuff. And I said like, hey, I don't like that. And then you're doing that in your second account for Instagram. I don't like that, right? And you're hiding it from me. I don't like that. I don't vibe with that. And man's response was, that's how just I am with my friends, which that's a fucking blatant lie. I know how he is with his friends. That's just how I am with my friends. Like, you just have to deal with it. No. That's not how you are with your friends. I mentioned the fact that I don't like that. Let's sit down and talk and see what's happening. Why are you sending this one person a bunch of hearts and stuff like that? This one person whom they had history with? Like, no, honey, no. We're not doing that. Obviously, that relationship failed. Another one was I kept telling my partner that I did not like it when right after school ended, they would run away from me. Specifically, I told them the reason why I don't like this is like, if it's any other situation, like any other time, yeah, I used to love that, right? I would run after them. It would be this cute little thing, right? But I told them like, hey, can we not do it anymore? I can't run anymore. Every time I run, I start to pass out. You start running, I can't chase you. I can't chase you anymore. It's no longer a fun hee hee ha ha. And plus we were having some other difficulties, and I told them like, hey, I'm really stressed with the play. I'm really stressed with this other stuff. October's rolling around. My insecurities are high on the roof because you keep, instead of talking with me and being with me and spending time with me, you're talking with other people, which like I don't mind. That's something that I need to deal with, that you can have friends and stuff like that. But like, added on to this, like you running away from me, it's making my insecurities also act up. But in point blank, it's making me feel left out because like you're running away and I can't catch up to you anymore. It's no longer a fun hee hee ha ha game. It's simply you running away from me, right? It's no longer a fun let me chase you like haha tag kind of thing. It's now you leave me and now I'm walking home by myself, or walking to the bus stop by myself, right? Instead of the cutesy, oh, I run after you, I catch up to you, then we start walking together and start talking and blah, blah, blah. It's simply you're running away from me, point blank. And they would run and they wouldn't stop running. And then I would walk to the bus by myself and I would feel horrible. Not only just because of the whole like, oh, I'm feeling left behind from my partner, right? Which at first, it wasn't even just like, oh, I feel left behind by my partner. It's like, I feel like shit because I can't even do something as simple as running anymore, right? I can't do something as simple as running without passing out, and I feel horrible about that because I know something's wrong, but the doctors aren't saying that anything's wrong, and I feel like shit, right? So it's bringing up insecurities about my health. And I told this to my partner, and they continue to do it. They continue to do it. They continue to do it. And after they continue to do it, came the insecurity of, okay, so you don't care about me, which is why you continue to do this. And now I feel shitty because my health is not allowing me to run after you and do this cool stuff. The other one, which is, you are making me feel shitty. You know that this is making me feel shitty. I explained to you that you running away from me reminds me about the fact that I literally can't do something as simple as a sprint, right? And that I feel horrible. And that makes me feel horrible because it's like, do you not care about me? Do you not care about me? Is that plus the bunch of other stuff that was popping up, little stuff that just piled up and piled up. I didn't dump them, they dumped me. But it was small stuff like that where it's like, okay, the change isn't something big that I'm asking you. I'm asking you to, for now, not run. Simple as that. And instead of being like, yeah, okay, I'll do that, they're like, yeah, okay, I won't run. And then continue to do that. And I keep reminding them like, hey, like, I can't, like, as they start running, I'm like, hey, can you slow down? I can't catch up to you. They continue to run and laugh and giggle as if it's a whole game. It's not a game anymore. You're laughing at me at the fact that I can't run towards you. That shit is making me feel horrible. And then another where's another situation where talking, right? I'm obviously not asking them to, like, you know, change their whole personality or whatever. Like, oh, they wouldn't change for me, right? They're wanting me to change. No, it's situations like that where it's like, okay, I'm feeling hurt about it. I can't change the fact that if I can't run or not. Or in the first one where it's like, okay, there's nothing for me to change. Other than I just have to, like, you know, in the first one with, like, the hearts and the person, right? The only thing for me to quote unquote change so that the solution is solved is me changing from not being okay with it to being okay with it, where I just have to throw away my insecurities and be like, this isn't cheating, which it was, and he did cheat on me. That was the only time I caught him. But let's be honest, there's probably more times that I didn't catch him, right? I would be surprised, you know, right? Which, again, that's where it stems my insecurity, and then plus then that other one where it's like the running. Point taken is, obviously it doesn't always work out. Talking doesn't always work out. It has to be both-sided. But I love this chapter because clearly they have a discussion, they had talk, and Sero does not let miscommunication happen. Sero's like, no, we're not doing that. All right? We have the will they, won't they. We're not going to have the miscommunication either, right? Miscommunication, obviously, it makes, you know, things, you know, more natural and stuff like that when it's in the fic and whatever, but I personally don't like it so much, especially when the whole thing is miscommunication. Like, the whole story could have ended quicker if they would have just communicated. If it's small little points where it's like, oh, they miscommunicated on this one thing, right? But even if they didn't miscommunicate on this one thing, the main big thing and plot of the story could still go through, then yeah, I like that. But sometimes they're pushing it. They're pushing it, right? Because it's like, if you're miscommunicating on this one thing the whole time, this relationship is not going to go through. Okay, I've talked enough. As always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.